Welcome to TenXcellence. Today, we're diving into some seriously underrated games that deserve way more love. These titles might not have been the blockbuster hits of their time, but they each offer something special that you really shouldn't miss. Keep in mind, this list isn't ranked in any particular order, so let's jump right in. Number 10. Mafia II, 2K Games. Let's kick things with Mafia II, a game that takes us back to the golden age of crime. Released in 2010 by 2K Czech, this action-adventure game is set in the fictional Empire Bay, a city that screams 1940s and 50s America. You play as Vito Scaletta, a war veteran who gets sucked into the mafia underworld. Now, this isn't your typical open-world game packed with endless side quests. Instead, Mafia II focuses on a strong narrative, delivering a cinematic experience with well-crafted characters and gripping storyline. The driving and shooting mechanics are solid, and the attention to detail in environment really sells the time period. Why is it underrated? Well, it didn't have the sprawling map of GTA or the deep RPG element of other titles, but it nailed the story and atmosphere. It's like playing through a classic gangster movie, and honestly, who doesn't want to do that? The Mafia franchise continued with Mafia III in 2016, which brought a new protagonist and setting, but many still consider Mafia II the series' high point. Number 9. Sleeping Dogs, Square Enix. Next up, we've got Sleeping Dogs, an open-world game that somehow flew under the radar for a lot of players. Released in 2012 by United Front Games, it's set in vibrant, fictional version of Hong Kong. You step into the shoes of Wei Shen, an undercover cop who's deep in the threat underworld. What sets Sleeping Dogs apart is its incredible blend of hand-to-hand combat, parkour, and shooting. The combat system is fluid, letting you pull off some truly badass martial arts moves. And the story is gritty, emotional roller coaster as Wei struggles with his dual identity.
You looking for a massage? I give you the
Despite being overshadowed by bigger titles of its time, Sleeping Dogs offers a unique setting and gameplay that still holds up today. It's got the heart of a crime drama with the gameplay to match, making it a hidden gem you definitely need to check out. Number 8. Dishonored, Bethesda Softworks. Dishonored, released in 2012 by Arkane Studios, is a masterclass in player choice and immersive storytelling. Set in the dark, plug-ridden city of Dunwall, you play as Corvo Etano, a bodyguard framed for murder who's out for revenge. What makes Dishonored special is its open-ended gameplay. You can choose to be a silent, non-lethal assassin or go on a rampage through the city, using a variety of supernatural powers like teleportation and position. The game's art style, inspired by steampunk and Victorian-era designs, adds to the atmosphere, making every corner of Dunwall feel both eerie and alive. Despite its critical acclaim, Dishonored didn't quite reach the mainstream success it deserved. But for those who love stealth games with deep, engaging worlds, it's an absolute must-play. The franchise continued with Dishonored 2 and Death of the Outsider, both of which built on the original mechanics. But the first game remains a classic in its own right. Number 7. Special Ops The Line, 2K Games. Special Ops The Line, released in 2012 by Jaeger Development, is a game that takes a standard military shooter and turns it on its head. Set in a sandstorm-ravaged Dubai, you play as Captain Martin Walker, leading a squad on what seems like a routine mission until everything goes horribly wrong. What starts as a typical shooter quickly becomes a harrowing exploration of the psychological effects of war. The gameplay itself is solid, with cover-based shooting mechanics, but it's the story that really sets this game apart. It challenges the player's morality in ways few games do, forcing you to make impossible choices and face the consequences. Special Ops The Line didn't get the commercial success of other shooters, likely because it's tough, sometimes uncomfortable experience. But it's exactly that depth and willingness to confront difficult themes that make it worth playing. Number 6. Dying Light 2, Stay Human, Techland. Let's fast forward a bit to 2022 with Dying Light 2 Stay Human. This action RPG from Techland is all about survival, parkour, and the world that changed based on your choices. Set in a post-apocalyptic city, you play as Aiden Caldwell, navigating a world overrun by infected while trying to uncover the truth about his past. The game's parkour system is what really shines, allowing you to fluidly traverse the environment, jumping across rooftops and scaling buildings with ease. The day-night cycle adds another layer of tension, as the city becomes far more dangerous when the sun goes down. The choices you make throughout the game have real consequences, affecting the world around you and the story's outcome. Despite being a major release, Dying Light 2 didn't quite get the universal acclaim some expected. However, its engaging gameplay, deep world building make it a worthy successor to the original Dying Light, which also mixed parkour and zombie survival in innovative ways. Number 5. Madmax, Warner Bros. Released in 2015 by Avalanche Studios, Madmax is an open-world action game set in the same post-apocalyptic universe as the iconic films. You play as Max Raketansky, a lone warrior looking to survive in the desolate wasteland. Madmax offers a massive open world that's as barren as it's beautiful. The focus here is on vehicular combat, with Max's car, the Magnum Opus, being your main mode of transport and weapon. The on-foot combat is brutal and satisfying, but it's the car chases and battles that really steal the show. Despite being released alongside major titles like Metal Gear Solid V, Madmax carved out its own niche, though it didn't get the widespread recognition it deserved. If you are a fan of the movies or just love open world games with unique twists, Madmax is a ride worth taking. Number 4. Metro Last Light, Deep Silver. Metro Last Light, released in 2013 by 4A Games, is a first-person shooter that throws you into the dark, atmospheric world of post-apocalyptic Moscow. You play as Artyom, a young man navigating the dangers of both the metro tunnels and the irradiated surface above. The game is a blend of tense exploration and intense firefights, with a strong emphasis on survival. Resources are scarce, and the world is as hostile as it is immersive. The story continues from the events of Metro 2033, with Artyom facing new threats and moral dilemmas as he tries to protect his home and people. While Metro Last Light was praised for its atmosphere and storytelling, it didn't reach the mainstream success of other shooters, but its unique setting and focus on survival mechanics make it a standout experience in the genre. The series continued with Metro Exodus in 2019, expanding the scope and scale while maintaining the core survival elements. Number 3. Prototype, Activision. Prototype, released in 2009 by Radical Entertainment, is an open-world action game that's all about power and destruction. You play as Alex Mercer, a man with no memory and the ability to shapeshift, who's on a mission to uncover the truth behind the virus that's ravaging New York City. The gameplay in Prototype is pure chaotic fun. You can consume enemies to take their form and abilities, use your shape-shifting powers to create weapons from your own body, and cause all kinds of mayhem in the city. It's a power fantasy that lets you go wild, with a story that's dark, mysterious, and full of twists. Prototype was often compared to Infamous, another open-world superhero game released around the same time, but it didn't get the same level of attention. However, for those who love games that let you unleash your pure destruction, Prototype is a must-play. A sequel, Prototype 2, was released in 2012, continuing the story with a new protagonist and refined gameplay. Number 2. Call of Juarez Gunslinger, Ubisoft. Call of Juarez Gunslinger, released in 2013 by Techland, is a first-person shooter set in the Wild West. You play as Silas Greaves, a bounty hunter recounting his adventures through a series of exaggerated tall tales. The narrative style is what makes Gunslinger so unique. The story changed dynamically based on Silas' memories, often leading to surreal and humorous twists. The gameplay is fast-paced and arcadey, with satisfying gunplay and a bullet time mechanic that lets you take down enemies in style. Despite its innovative approach and fun gameplay, Gunslinger didn't achieve massive commercial success, but it's a refreshing take on the Western genre that stands out for its style and storytelling. If you are into a quick draw shootouts and stories that don't take themselves too seriously, this game is for you. Number 1. The Evil Within 2, Bethesda Softworks. Rounding out our list is The Evil Within 2, a survival horror game released in 2017 by Tango Gameworks and directed by the legendary Shinji Mikami. You play as Sebastian Castellanos, a detective who enters a nightmarish world to save his daughter. The game is a mix of psychological horror and survival action, with an open-ended design that lets you explore the eerie environments at your own pace. The combat is tense, with limited resources and terrifying enemies that keep you on edge. The story dives deep into Sebastian's psyche, blending personal horror with the grotesque. While it received positive reviews, The Evil Within 2 didn't reach the heights of other horror franchises like Resident Evil. However, its combination of atmospheric horror, compelling narrative, and open-world elements make it a standout in the genre. It's a worthy sequel to the original The Evil Within, which laid the groundwork with its blend of horror and action. And there you have it, 10 underrated games that are absolutely worth your time. Each of these titles brings something unique to the table, whether it's an unforgettable story, innovative gameplay, or just pure fun. If you haven't played these yet, I highly recommend giving them a shot. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more top 10 list content. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.